Hello and welcome to another show of Two Sides to Opinion podcast. I'm Marcus, and before we get started, please take that time to hit the click, like, and subscribe button so you can be updated with all the new content that we currently put out. I want to say what's up to my compadres, Coach Josh and Jones. What's up, fellas?
What's up, baby?
And it's been a real weekend in sports. So we're going to go ahead and get this thing popping and rolling.
Been a FanDuel and DraftKings kind of weekend.
Sounds about right? Sounds about right. So that brings me to our first topic, which is basically, is there a changing of the guard in the AFC West? Who likes to go first?
Yeah, man, I'm gonna let Jones go first, man.
Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and take this one, man. Listen, Marcus, what I'm gonna need you to do is send me a crown in the mail so I can wear it when we do these podcasts because I'm not gonna say I'm Nostradamus. However, I think I did call this one. So it's gotta be the Chargers. I called that. I called them to win the division. When you're talking about Harbaugh, when you're talking about what he brings to the table, that team really just needed a culture shift, right? And Harbaugh was the one to bring that because they already had all the talent. They revitalized some of the old wide receivers, brought Keenan Allen back. Now he looked like the Keenan Allen of old, right? He's getting out there, getting touchdowns, well-needed possessions for third downs to move the sticks. So the team just looks good. They look like a well-oiled machine. They really, when you watch them, they have Detroit Lions and Dan Campbell feel, right? Like they feel like that's probably too soon. But they look like a well-oiled machine. They got the run game going, they got pass game going, defense is stout. They got Darwin James, which has always been a game changer on the defensive side of the ball. I think they still got Khalil Mack, right? Savvy veteran, who is a leader in the locker room. So for me, it's got to be the Chargers.
It's Khalil Mack. He just got hurt. He's going to be out for a little bit.
Yeah, but he's still in the locker room though, right? So he's still that voice of reason. He's still that motivator on the sideline, right? So when you're talking about player coaches, right, I would assume that he's one of those guys in the later side of his career. So, I think they got everything they need to take it all the way. So the Chargers look really good.
Here's what I say. The question was, is there a changing of the guard? I don't think it's a changing of the guard yet. I still think that Patrick Mahomes is the best quarterback in the league in the aspect of you got to catch up to him in the appearances and Super Bowls to make us think different. I do feel like they need to upgrade in certain positions, especially at wide receiver and running back. Travis Kelce is on the tail end of his career, and we know they're going to eventually have to move on, and more than likely this might be his last year. But that defense is strong, and it's young, and it's branded, and they should be their calling card. Now, can the Chiefs some way somehow get themselves out with getting that offense popping and rolling? That we haven't seen yet, but they also missing a couple of key guys in Xavier Worthy and Rashee Rice. And we know what Rashee Rice can do when you put him out there. And we know what, Xavier Worthy gives you with stretching the field when he's out there. So I don't necessarily know if it's a changing of the guard. What I will say is I feel like this is the best position that any of those other three teams have been in a long time to actually take the division this year. Next year, I don't know. You still got to see. I like the Chargers and what they put together. Like you said, they have a culture change, but Herbert has to prove something to us. Last time, what we saw them smoke a 20-something point lead in the playoffs. He hasn't won a playoff game yet, so I still pause on that of the changing of the guard, but I do believe that this is the first year that we probably won't see I almost said KFC. KC winning division.
Yeah, they cooked chicken.
Yeah, somebody. Yeah, they cooked. They cooked. Well, so let me jump in real quick. So, I said week one, in order to be the man, you got to beat the man, right? So, I still feel like that's in play, but through the first 3 weeks, I mean, it's undeniable that the Chargers are on the momentum train, right? And football is a lot about momentum, having the ball bounce your way, right? And Coach brought it up last week, right? Some of those favorable calls that they were getting last year that helped them get over the hump and win some of those games, some of those close games. They're not getting those this year. So, and what I'll say about Travis Kelce is, not only is he at the tail end of his career, I think he's distracted, right? I think there's a lot of distractions in his life, right? You got Taylor Swift and, the engagement there. You got the stuff that he's doing off the field, right? Some of the same concerns that, folks in the locker room, Jerry Jones and some of those folks had with Michael Parsons, right? What he was doing with some of his off time with the podcast and things like that. So I think not only is his talent is diminished, right? I just think he's got a lot of distractions too. So I think that on top of the diminishment of skills, he's just not the player he used to be.
And what you got, Coach Josh?
I think it's a changing of the guard. Now, who's the changing of the guard? That's the big question. So don't count the Broncos out. I'm just going to be honest with you. I'm not a fan just yet, but I'm a fan of football. So you could kind of see the Broncos got a culture change too. I like what Harbaugh is bringing to the Chargers. It gives you that San Francisco feel. And he is a gambler. I think that besides that's Herbert on offense, there's not really up another major playmaker. So they probably gonna have to go get them another major playmaker. And they're gonna need to get another running back. Because I know they got the youngster, but that's Harris, pop that Achilles. And you need 2 running backs in this league right now with this long season. Kansas City. I watched them again.
Let me pause for a second. There's something I want to put up for you guys. 1 second.
Yeah.
This just popped up. This is what he said about Justin Herbert. He said, I just can't trust Herbert. Justin, I understand. Like I said, he has a lot to prove, and that he has to win playoff games because they made sure they let that dude number 8 up there in Baltimore know that he had to win some games before they gave him any type of credit. Yeah. So he's going to have to do the same. But shout out to Justin. Appreciate you.
Well, let me just say this real quick. So as the standing goes right now, Chargers is 3-0, right? Raiders are 1-2, Broncos 1-2, Chiefs 1-2. Okay. Last week we talked about the percentage of teams making it to the Super Bowl when they start 0-2. I'll look it up here in a second to see their probability of starting the season 1-2. But listen, I get it. Justin Herbert has to prove something. Otherwise, he's going to be he's going to be an Andy Dalton, right? Andy Dalton was a great, regular season quarterback. Peyton Manning was that quarterback for a while too, right?
One time
until he got over the hump. So I get it, but right now the way that the numbers are running, the way that because right now, if this is the correct standing, you got the Chargers, Raiders, which the Raiders are a whole bag of. I ain't gonna say it, but a whole bag of what.
We expected that, right?
Yeah, and then you got you got the Broncos, and then you got the Chiefs. So
here's what I say. There's one thing with the Broncos that I just don't like, and that's their offense. You don't have anybody who's necessarily going to scare you. They don't have that tremendous run game, especially not early in the season this year that they had last year. And none of the receivers on the outside scare you to a point where you got to double team or take somebody out the box. So that you can almost say the same thing about the Raiders, except for the young kid Genty hasn't showed up yet. Do I feel like he's close? Maybe. I mean, I don't know, but we have to be real cautious with that number 15 dude out there in KC because we know they can catch a roll real fast, real quick, and then he on Justin Herbert's back. So but
let me tell you what I thought the other day, though. Just watching them play the other day, and man, we like big acquisitions. Man, we like running backs, cornerbacks, safeties, DNs, tight ends, man, people that can score touchdowns and get sacks and plays like that. The biggest problem with KC? Their offensive line. They cannot run the ball. And you got Kareem Hunt, he runs hard. Man, they put him in short yardage, he get it. But them people not breaking long runs.
But let me ask you,
all those passes and everything.
But are you looking at Kareem Hunt as that type of back? Would
no.
You say, okay. Well,
I'm not looking
to go get a running back.
No. They need to go get some linemen or a lineman that's gonna really what should I say? Give him some more time because he got people in his face now. He trying to throw the ball, he tippy-toeing going back. And bruh, they got receivers. They have receivers, and they got receivers coming back. What was the dude, well, he ain't little, man. That boy look like he about 6'5", but he looked like he 165. Number 80. Thornton. Man, Thornton looked pretty good the other night.
Mm-hmm. Tyquan Thornton.
Yeah. And then you still got Worthy, Rice coming back. Bruh, it's the running game. And it's not the running backs, because I don't expect them to run like a Derrick Henry, Taylor. Who else we got out there that's like a big time running back? But I do expect you to get 4 to 5 yards. I mean, because these people not even loading the box on y'all.
Agreed.
So really quick, because I think Coach really hit on something the last couple of weeks, and we really haven't talked about it, but I think it's worth mentioning because I think it's showing up more and more. And, the piece that they are missing is that accountability piece. And Eric Bieniemy, right, regardless of what they said about him or, if they liked him personally, right, if you weren't doing what you were supposed if you weren't doing what you were supposed to do, Eric Bieniemy had no issues getting with Patrick Mahomes. I mean, there's clips of them two getting into it after him having a bad series, right? And then after that series, right after that, him and Eric having words, they would go out and they would do exactly what they needed to do. So I think there's some accountability issues within that locker room that's happening this season that nobody's really talking about.
Now the thing is, Jones, we got to realize the enemy not coming back, but Nagy not doing his job right. Where's Doug Peterson?
I think Doug at home doing what we doing.
Yeah, I was about to say
Doug would be the great OC for them because he ain't played with Kelsey. He kind of groomed those quarterbacks really well. And Doug not a bad coach. I mean, he a Super Bowl winning coach. I like him. I just don't think Nagy up as well is that well of a coach. I think Nagy has been getting a lot of stuff just because of Andy Reid. And that blow up with Travis Kelce the other day, that didn't look good. But he kind of
I feel like that's
played
nothing.
well after that.
I feel like that's nothing because we've seen that consistently with them.
Oh yeah.
Right? Here's what I say. With that being said about change, there's a lot of things that do need to change moving forward. The next thing is this guy. Does Clemson need to move on from Dabo? And this is one of my topics, so I'm going to go first. And I'm going to be very animated about what I say. Do I believe he's a good coach? Yes. Do I believe he said idiotic things at times that he shouldn't said? Yes. Do I think he believes in himself as he should? Yes. But I'm to the point, and I think Clemson and their fans are to the point where he has notoriously started slow. And he has now put himself in a position where he's opened his mouth to a point where saying, hey, if they don't want to win, then move me. Right now, brother, you are 1-3. And you getting smoked by everybody who feel like smoking you at this moment. Ain't nobody scared of the big bad Tigers up there in Clemson at all. Don't get me wrong. Dude has had phenomenal seasons the last couple of years. I think the last two he won double digits, and then the year before those two he won 9. But he's had some shaky starts, especially when they got into conference play. Like he's been like 4-4 or 6-2 and things of that nature. So you start 1-3, and you're supposed to have a top quality roster. That makes me wonder what's actually going on. I think he's probably about that close away from losing that locker room if he hasn't already lost it. Also, he has to learn to be quiet because he's not Nick Saban. I think at times he thinks because he's won 2 national championships that he's the greatest coach that's ever coached at Clemson. He might be, but I got a feeling that they are getting very, very low with the way he's talking and acting. What do y'all think?
It depends on why he's talking like that. Does he have something else in the bag to say, hey, I got leverage. I could go here. And I always believed when he came out against the NIL, he was cooked. And as I had a conversation with one of my best cousins today, the media gave him that high ranking at the beginning of the season. Yeah, they was talking about the talent that he had, but if you look at the last 3 years, people who have spent the most money up in NIL, they kind of win the championship. And he wants to show you up everybody for whatever reason that you don't have to spend money on these kids. I'm in a state of Louisiana right now where Brian Kelly say, hey, we gonna pay for kids, but we ain't paying a certain amount. So, yep, if you get a better deal, hey, man, go for it, go get it. Dabo didn't even say that. Dabo is really against the NIL, yep, and what all it stands for. But has made a bunch of money off of said players. So I don't want nobody to get fired. I'm not an advocate of saying, hey, man, you need to go up, unless it's something egregious. Is the ACC that good? Where would they finish at in the ACC? That's the question. So
yeah, no, I mean that makes sense. So this is kind of where I fall, okay? Because you asked the question, should Dabo go, right? Well, if he goes, who are you going to replace him with? Is the question.
Fran Brown.
Well, yeah, right. So, I mean, so if you got somebody who you can replace him with that fits the culture, right, who's going to do the things that you're, achieve the goals that you're trying to achieve, then yeah, right. But, like you said, Coach, getting rid of somebody just for the sake of getting rid of them, you got to have somebody that you can replace them with, right? It's a lot like the quarterback conversation, right? Because a lot of folks are like, oh, well, X quarterback isn't good. We need to get rid of him. Well, if you're going to get rid of him, who are you going to replace him with, right? And if you don't have anybody that is equal to or better than him, then you really have to sit back and weigh your options, right? But to that point, what I will say is that sometimes, you have to have a change in voice within the locker room. You have to have a change in mindset, right? Because things start to get stagnant sometimes, right? When you've been there,
correct.
Yeah, when you've been at a place for way too long, right? And they're hearing that same voice. And even though you have a lot of turnover from year to year, especially with the NIL, right? Within college football, you really have to reinvent yourself. And if you're not in the business of reinventing yourself, because it works both ways, right? Because you as a coach, right, you've been coaching so long in this same system, right? You, the coach, become stagnant, right? Because like I said, if you have a whole lot of turnover, it's no longer players, it's you and the coaching staff, right? So for me, I think it would be a good idea for him and the school to part ways, right? Because I think he needs a new start too. I think he needs a fresh breath of air, right? Maybe look at his offensive defensive schemes. Go back to the drawing board, work some things out, and reinvigorate himself, right? To come back and be that coach that he used to be. Maybe he's lost a passion for it, right? Maybe this reignites and restarts that passion deep within him, right? To be a great I was about to say Super Bowl winning coach, but championship winning coach, right? So I think right now it could be good for him. It could be good for the school. And you did bring up a good point, Coach. Or I think it was either you or Marcus. But you were talking about the rankings, right? And I think it was Coach. And you were talking about the rankings, and they came in, they were highly ranked. This whole ranking system, right, baffles me. I think at this point, the way that they're doing it is not doing anybody any favors. I think they need to wait till like week 2 before they start putting out rankings, or at least after the first game. You know what I mean? Because with them already making.
I agree with you.
Yeah.
I agree with you.
Let me ask y'all a different question. What would their record have to be? And I'm talking about Clemson for you in the aspect of where you would say, hey, bro, it's time for a change, or hey, we need to move in a different direction.
No, I think we're already at that point, right?
Yeah. And he's losing players to South Carolina.
I mean, he's 1-3. I think they lost one game in ACC play, which I think was to Georgia Tech, if I'm correct.
Who's the team in the ACC?
Florida State.
And is Syracuse in the ACC now?
Yes.
Okay, because all those people, they be football here, basketball there, baseball there. So, but the biggest thing with Dabo, I'm gonna tell y'all, he's losing players to South Carolina, and that kind of was the problem long time ago. Then Dabo came and started getting the players to come to Clemson, but what coaches did he lose? That might be another big problem too, because I talked to one of my better cousins today, and we talked about offensive coordinators and defensive coordinators. Maybe his OCs and DCs, that's what was making Dabo.
I don't think he lost anybody recently. You got to remember last year they won the ACC. So in the same sense, I just feel like they've been
Yeah.
having notoriously slow starts. And with that being said, I think this year is the year that I don't think he can overcome that slow start. So then I ask once again, at what point is enough enough? And I feel like this is the point where I feel like if they finished, they play 12 games. If they finish 5-7, I mean, I think it's time to go. If he finished better than that, I think he could stay.
Do they play Florida State this year? They on that side to play Florida State?
I could tell you. Give me 1 second.
Okay.
Yes, they play Florida State November 8th.
Do they play Syracuse?
No. Yes, they lost to Syracuse. They played them this weekend.
That's who they. Okay. Because I know they lost to somebody big again. I was trying to figure it out.
Yeah, they lost to Georgia Tech.
Man, Georgia Tech surprising everybody.
So they're 0-2. So just to let you guys know, they're 0-2 in ACC play. They have North Carolina. I feel they're going to beat. They got Boston College. I think they lose to SMU. Then they got Duke, Florida State. I think they lose to Florida State. Then they got Louisville. I don't necessarily know how good Louisville looks at the moment, and then they end the season with South Carolina. So,
but the question is, do you think he has another job lined up already?
Nah, but he's gonna be wanted. He's a big time coach that won 2 national championships. Somebody go take him.
Yeah, but he don't want to pay players.
Well, so here's the thing. So you're asking if another school, another organization will want him? Absolutely. I think
Power 5 though. Power 5.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
So if he is struggling with NIL and players and things like that, that's an internal struggle, right? So I don't think the question is, will a school want him? I think they definitely will. I think the question he needs to ask himself, does he want to coach in this environment? And if that answer is no, then he needs to evaluate if he wants to go to another school and coach, right? Because it won't be good for anybody if he secretly is harboring bad feelings about the whole setup the way it is now, because he's gonna be harboring negative emotions about this whole thing, and he's going to be distracted away from what the target is, and that's winning football games, right? So, or trying to prove to people that he doesn't need to use the NIL and he can still win without it with the old way, right? Which will then get you the results that you have now, where he's going to start.
And that's part of that being a me guy.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's what Marcus was saying about being a me guy. It's about me.
Yeah. So I don't think. Again, you asked the question, will someone else want him? Absolutely. But I think he needs to ask himself that internal question. Well, I do want to throw this out to the chat and ask Justin if he's still with us. What do you think?
Yeah, we'll give him a little time to respond. I'll end that segment in this case. It's not a surprise that he's struggling, but it's a surprise that they are 1-3 at this point.
Yeah,
I can see them being 2-2. I can see them being 2-1 or 3-1. But to be 1-3, that's not a good look. And speaking of surprises, we had a pretty crazy week in the NFL this last weekend. It was pretty crazy. We saw some things we ain't never seen before. We had teams that we thought were going to get blowed out, and they came and showed out. So it was a pretty crazy week. So I ask you guys, with that being said, what was the biggest NFL surprise in week 3 slate of games?
I'll go ahead and step in on this one. So for me, I'm gonna save my apology to Chicago Bears fans until we get to week 4 or week 5.
Let me just pause you for a second, because he answers your question. And his response was, I feel they not paying the same caliber of players to keep them. That's what he's saying.
No, I mean, if what Coach just said is correct, and they're struggling, or not he is struggling with the whole concept of NIL, then absolutely right. I mean, if you're not willing to pay the players, and if you're not willing to change with the times, then I completely agree with what he just said.
Correct.
Yep. And to anybody else that's in the chat, if you have an opinion, go ahead and put that in the chat, and we'll definitely come to you and post exactly what you have. All right. So go ahead and finish up what you were saying.
Yeah. So for me, I don't know if I need to save my apology for the Chicago Bears fans, but the biggest surprise to me was Caleb Williams. If anybody has been on here, paying attention to the show, we really appreciate you tuning in and listening to what we have to say. But I've been saying that Caleb Williams is a bust, right? And one of the topics I was going to talk about or have us talk about are the Bears good, or is Dallas bad, right? And I still don't know the question to that answer. However, Dallas took a whooping this week, and Caleb Williams is the one who delivered it, right? I mean, if you only take the game this weekend and look at Caleb Williams, and this is the first time you've ever seen football, you would think he's, Patrick Mahomes or Joe Montana or somebody, right? I mean, so he was out there running the offense. I mean, everything was looking good. I mean, he did throw that flea flicker, right? That flat-footed flea flicker for like 62 yards. So the arm talent's there. It looks like he's talented, but I mean, I think it's still, I think the jury's still out on Caleb Williams, but the surprise, and that's why it's a surprise, because I did not see that coming. I thought it was going to be a beat down the other way. I thought Dallas Cowboys was going to come in, right? They was going to go ahead and win that game and then look to week 4. And that is not what happened, right? So, shout out to Caleb Williams, shout out to DJ Moore, shout out to the Chicago Bears, because you definitely surprised me this week.
That boy Caleb balling, baby, generational talent.
Generational, huh?
I'll give my surprise of the week.
Hold on, real quick. I think everybody looked like a generational talent when they play Dallas. Russell Wilson looked good last week.
Hey, whoa, man, whoa! Don't do that to Russ.
What I will say is my biggest surprise of the week was the amount of blocked field goals. It's been a long time in the NFL where we had 4 blocks. So you had the Eagles who blocked the game-winning field goal. Then in that same game, you had the Eagles block a field goal to keep the deficit at 5, which kept them in the game. Might I add that those blocks were really important, because in that same time, the Eagles was down kind of big, and then they came back and made their way back. And for y'all still hating on Jalen Hurts, stop it, please. All that boy do is win, win, win. I'm just saying, you got to relax.
Stand up, you finest, baby.
Yes, sir. And then you got the Browns. Who blocked the go-ahead field goal. And we had a huge group discussion on the Browns because Jones was so mad that they left Joe Flacco in, say it ain't so Joe in, and they won. Just to let you
they didn't win because of Joe, though.
No, they didn't win because of Joe, but they didn't lose because of Joe either. So he didn't put them in a bad spot for them to actually lose that game.
He did throw an interception.
Yeah, I mean, we know what we're gonna get from Joe. I mean,
he threw at least 2
Can I say something? Jones, the defense for Cleveland played phenomenal, and they had a running game this week. It was small, but they had a running game. But Flacco was still flat-toe.
Yeah.
Jones, I got something for you. 1 second.
Go ahead. Yeah, no, I seen it on there. So listen, Justin, I agree with you, sir. But the question that Marcus posed to us, what was the biggest surprise? And I don't know what these gentlemen are talking about, but the biggest surprise to me was the fact that Caleb Williams won a football game in the NFL this year and looked like
generation of talent, baby.
And just to let
and
me
he looked
finish
like
up,
he looked like an actual NFL quarterback. Go ahead.
and just to let me finish up, the last block was with the Jets. They blocked that with the scoop and score. It was pretty crazy, man. I know Vegas made a lot of money on those field goal blocks because that changed a lot of games in certain ways. I don't remember the last time we had this many blocks in one NFL week. It's pretty crazy, man. It was actually exciting to see because I don't know if you guys know, the special teams are starting to pick up a lot more. Back in the day, what made the NFL so great was you was able to change a game with special teams. Now, I think before they made the change to what they have now, the game had only slowed down to offense and defense, and special teams was almost fading out. So it's good to see that. So that was more surprising to me, the amount of block kicks in the NFL this week.
Shout out to the special team coordinators.
Right. And one thing you might want to check on too is not only was it a block kick, but the scoop and score as well.
Yeah, it was. I can tell you, it was a scoop and score for the Eagles. It was a scoop and score for the Jets. So it was 2.
Yeah, so that might be the most in NFL history in 1 week. I'm not sure.
Yeah, I'll definitely take a look at that.
Yeah.
What you got, Josh? Biggest surprise, man?
Biggest surprise. I was going to say the Colts, but man, I don't know what it is about these people, but they lucky, well coached, or just something. Bruh, the Minnesota Vikings. The Minnesota Vikings playing with a backup quarterback. We're going to say a backup quarterback. And the defense steps up and make plays, stops, fumble returns. Man, what's the dude that had all the touchdowns? For the Vikings?
Let me take a look. I have no idea, man.
Man, I forgot his name, though. But again, Jones, I was having a conversation with like my best cousin, and we was talking about people that were head coaches, but horrible head coaches, but were great coordinators. And Brian Flores, to me, he's not a good head coach, but he is a great defensive coordinator, man. And the Vikings, if they get one more playmaker up on offense, I think they may be something to watch, man.
His name was Isaiah Rodgers.
Yeah, that's the fast boy, right? He fast. But I think the Vikings may be a surprise team. But I'm a hold off on the Colts until maybe about week 5 or 6, okay? And then we're gonna revisit the Colts. And I maybe eat some crow, or maybe eat some steak. I don't know. But I'm gonna hold off on them just for a little while. But the Vikings was a big surprise.
But can I ask you a question? Are we really surprised that the Vikings did what they did against who they did it against? Like, are we surprised that they put up that amount of points in that aspect? Like,
I mean, bro, but they did it on defense.
Yeah. Look who's the backup quarterback.
I mean,
are we surprised by it? He threw 4 interceptions in his first game after coming off the bench. Like he.
But why? Okay.
So they played the Bengals.
Okay. Why is he in the league? Why is he in the league? And people just say, and this is what me and you were talking about earlier.
Jones, you remind me of that meme of Tony Yayo when he was like.
Like, okay, Brownie. Okay, man, you did good a couple years ago. What's the problem now? What's the problem? But that tells you right there, and this is what I'm gonna say. That tells you, and I'm not gonna say that he is the best or one of the best or whatever, but that tells you a story about how good Joe Burrow was.
I'm almost to a point
And they need another quarterback.
I'm going to start to put him towards the latter because of his injuries.
Who, Joe Burrow?
Yeah, man, you got to.
He got like 3 of them, bro.
And those were for seasons, not
yeah.
Those were for seasons. So
one was for a season, and then the other 2, like this one, may be for a whole season.
Yeah, I think it is for the season. They haven't said it yet, but they said 3 months, and by the time he comes back, I don't think they're going to be in contention. So he's not.
Yeah, so there's no reason to play him or get him stats or anything else. But that's why I said that they probably need to go get a quarterback, or you might need to do a fire sale if it don't start looking right by 5 or 6.
Okay,
week 5 or 6.
No, agreed. I agree.
Hey, really quick, because one of us did have the ability and opportunity to go to a NFL game this weekend, and I believe that game was also a surprise. So, can you give us an actual play-by-play of what it looked like on the field, my good sir?
That should have been his surprise.
So if you guys didn't know, I had the privilege of going out to North Carolina catching with my lovely wife and catching a game, which was the Atlanta Falcons versus the Panthers. I'm not gonna lie. Before the game, I was putting in parlays and I had the Falcons covering. I had the Falcons winning in blowouts. I just thought the Falcons was going to come out and do everything. But as I watched that game, there's something going on that sideline that I know you guys probably didn't get. I got to see it because I was on their sideline. That the offensive coordinator is out of touch. The defensive coordinator doesn't necessarily want to do certain things on defense, and the special team coach is horrible. There was 4 or 5 times on special teams where they kicked the ball, it bounced, they dropped the ball, and they got hit within either the 15 or the 5-yard line. So you starting back deep in that game, and then you have Michael Penix when he was backed up, throw that lazy lob of a pass, and it gets picked off, and then the route was on. I thought Bryce Young played very well. I thought he's very composed. At times they played very safe, but they were up. So when you get up like that, you kind of do play it safe. I thought they had a very, very good game plan. Their defense is really good, especially those 2 corners. But yeah, I'm gonna just chalk the Atlanta Falcons game up as it's just one of those days. Because they couldn't get it right all around. They could barely get the run game going. They could barely get the pass game going. Special teams was atrocious. And they missed 2. They got rid of my boy Young Ho Koo, and all the other dude did was just miss field goals. So, I mean, that's what I'm saying. Whoever the special team coach over there, he should have been fired. But they went ahead and fired their wide receiver coach.
Yeah, that was really the problem.
Yeah, it wasn't, bro. Special teams was horrible for them that game. But
who's the offensive coordinator?
I have no idea. I didn't even go try to.
Because I think Raheem Morris, he kind of run the defense.
Put some up for you guys. 1 second. He says, yes, that Carolina game was a surprise. It was indeed a surprise. It was a surprise by how much?
Big surprise.
30-0?
Yeah.
30-0.
You would think it would have been better because it was a divisional game. But I didn't see 30-0. Maybe if it would have been like 30-20, we'd have been like, oh, that was a hard-fought game between division.
Yeah, exactly. You're right.
Yeah, like teams or whatever, because I don't think they rivals. But
no, they are.
Yeah.
Yeah, one thing I would say, because I had picked them to win the division. I mean, they're number 2 right now behind the Buccaneers. But we're talking about surprises. You know, Baker Mayfield, the Buccaneers, right? They're getting it done. They're 3-0. So that's all I'll say about that, because there were a lot of surprises in the
But you know the
NFL.
bad part about that, Jones? Man, they losing players to injury. I think
Yeah, so
Michael
they may
Evans.
not be. Yeah, I
Yeah,
think he's
I
out for
think
a
Michael
while.
Evans got a bad tear up in his hamstring.
Yeah, and I think Emeka Ibuka has something wrong with his hamstring as well.
Yeah, like but that's what happened to them like
Last
last
year,
year,
yes.
yep, and the year before.
Yeah, Mike Evans went out, and then what's his name? Is it Gordon or Godwin? Godwin.
Godwin, the one that's fast and big.
Yeah, but he messed up his ankle. So that
Yeah.
was it.
So, yep.
But I think this next topic is gonna get that we're probably all gonna be on different pages, which that's what we want. But it's gonna get a couple people going, and it's as you guys can see, all the greats behind us. Choose the best NBA player ever to you at each position and why. Coach, we're gonna start with you.
Point guard, Magic. Shooting guard, Jordan. Small forward, the King, LeBron. The 4, Tim Duncan.
Timmy.
And the 5, Shaquille O'Neal.
Mm, mm, mm. And why those guys? Just a simple rundown.
Well, yep, I'm a basketball coach at heart. I like big lineups. I saw players play, and I know they have big debates now. Like, is such and such greater than such and such? And I'm gonna be honest, I'm not crazy. As time go on, players do get better. But we talking about an era that people dominated. Magic dominated. He was a great point guard. He knew how to get people involved. He was big, strong, fast, could rebound, pass. He could shoot a little bit, score. Jordan, if we talk about it, in some people's eyes, Jordan is the greatest ever. I got him number 2 yep in my book. LeBron, he just been dominating for like the last 20 years.
Okay, let me just ask you one question.
Yeah.
Let me ask you one question. I just want to ask you one question because you say you picked individuals who dominated.
Yes.
How many times has LeBron James lost in the finals?
I mean, what it is. He's what?
But
4 and what?
Who did he
He's
lose
4
to?
and what? Like 6?
Yes, he is.
Yeah.
Who did he lose to?
Who did he lose to?
Yes. What other superstar?
Tim. That was the first one.
Because there's one superstar who I think got him 3 times, if I'm correct.
Yeah, that's Curry.
Okay.
But was Curry the best players up on them all 3 of them times?
On one of them, yes.
I don't think so. But hey, and if you tell me which one that is, and if it's the first one, then you already know where I'm going with this. He was out 2 players, but injury is a part of the game, and that can hurt you.
Yes. I was gonna say it was that first one. I believe Iguodala did play great defense, but in the same instance, you got to put the ball in the hole to win the game.
But they didn't know who to give it to, bro. Man, that's
agreed.
Yeah, and talking about that series, we could go to the Toronto series where they beat Golden State with all those injuries.
Yeah.
So
I agree with you. No, I agree.
So man, there's a lot of X factors to things. But just the eye test, man. LeBron is, whew. And I'm not saying that just because I watch a lot of basketball, and he has done it over a period of time. Tim Duncan is another one that dominated. I think me and you had this discussion, and you kind of opened my eyes to it. Like, hold on, man, Tim need to be top 10, and I'm like, he might be the best power forward of all time. Man, with the way he dominated, his stats, his accolades, he made sure some people didn't win some championships.
Yep.
So, and Shaq, I mean, man, besides LeBron, man, Shaq is an animal, bro.
I got a different cat in that spot, but go ahead.
I mean,
I understand why. No, I understand.
I mean, there's nobody at all that can say, hey, I could check Shaq one-on-one.
I agree with that.
And some people say, yep, it was Will Chamberlain, because I done heard from older people. They said Will Chamberlain could have been the greatest at anything. Volleyball, track, football. He just did basketball. That was his best sport. But they said he could have been like the Deion Sanders and the Bo Jacksons. Those kind of players, you know, like where he just dominated everything. But I mean, man, some of them are interchangeable. Like, cause I know we all gonna have different views on different things, but and then me being a basketball coach, I love big lineups. I'm gonna
go ahead and put something out there for you guys.
Uh-huh. What he said?
So you can't keep knocking LeBron based off rings. Midas Robert Horry should be the greatest small forward. No, we're not just basing it off a ring.
Hey, listen, he's the smartest small forward. He knew which team to go to.
He did.
True.
He did.
True. But Coach, did you finish up? Is that?
Yeah, man, that's my 5 right there, man.
Jones, go ahead with yours, man. Or would you like for me to go? Because I
got it, man. So let me start by saying, because we talked about this in week 2, and you know, when we're talking about, you know, the greatest of all time, you talk about the GOAT conversation. I really think it should be, you know, within a decade time frame, right? So we're talking about from, you know, the 60s, right? And then the bracket of 70s to 80s to 90s, right? 2000s, this and the third. So
I agree.
Because I have so many different, I got so many different people, because I used to love basketball, right? And I like people that people did not even didn't even recognize as players, right?
But no, this is exactly what I want. I want you to think outside. So, I want it to be for you.
Yeah, of course. So let me go ahead and say my top 5 is going to be Kobe, and Kobe. Die-line. Let's spit hot.
Do they have different last names?
Yeah, Kobe Bean Bryant. Bean Bryant. Yeah.
Man, what is this, Marvel, man?
Number 24, number 8. Yeah, so let me. So I mean, at the point guard position, I went with Steph Curry. I had AI as a close second. You know, when AI came out, you know, everybody was trying to do the killer crossover, right? And that was at the same time that you had the N1 mixtape, right? So the closest thing you could get to the N1 mixtape was AI, right? Because he was out there, you know, putting people on skates. Like I said, not small forward, shooting guard, I got Kobe. For small forward, you know, there was a lot of people, man. So I think I'm gonna actually land on Larry Johnson, right? I don't know if y'all remember him or not.
Grandmama, baby.
Grandmama, right?
Yeah.
But I had Scottie Pippen up there. I had Grant Hill up there. I had Dennis Rodman up there. I also had T-Mac, right? People forget T-Mac played small forward. And then
hold on. Ain't you a Cleveland Browns fan?
I am, yeah.
From Akron, man. That's like 25, 30 minutes away, right?
You must not know that, man.
Man.
You
Listen.
should never went there because he about to go.
Man, they say it be your own people, bro.
Let me inform you, sir. I am originally from Kentucky, so even though I'm a Cleveland fan, I'm not an Ohioan, right?
Man,
So
oh man, Pat Riley should be in there.
Yeah, so power forward, I'm gonna go with Timmy. I don't think you can go with anybody else because I sat and watched podcasts where Kevin Garnett was, talking about how good he was and how he was probably the hardest person for him to guard, right? But I did have Kevin Garnett on there. I did have Juwan Howard. I don't know if anybody remembers him. Yeah. I had Sean Kemp, right? Mr. I'm a dunk on you, Sean, man. Yep. And then Chris Webber. So. And then, and then I had a short list for center. I went with Shaq and Hakeem, right? So you either got the Dream Shake or you got Big Diesel.
No Brad Daugherty?
I got you. So with me, man, mine's just simple, man. At the point guard, I got that dude that could shoot when he step in the gym. The light bright of all light brights. He go burn you up. Whether you like it or not. Steph Curry at the point guard. At the 2 guard, I got the man that could jump from the free throw line. I got,
James White?
Airness himself.
Dominique Wilkins? Clyde the Drive?
Why y'all keep playing? Y'all know what his name is.
James White?
I want to be like mine.
Brent Barry?
Y'all know who he was.
Yeah, Brent Barry. Yeah, Brent Barry. The one and only.
At the three, I know y'all. It's probably gonna be a little crazy. I know y'all not gonna like this one, but I have somebody who I feel like he started this whole thing with dudes being 7 foot dribbling. And having the handles and then being able to shoot the way he shoots.
Wemby?
No. Kevin Durant. I have Kevin Durant as my small.
Wasn't a bad choice.
No, I just like what he brings, but also he went to the University of Texas, Hook 'em Horns. And
I bought from DC, man.
Yeah, he is. I know. But I'm saying he went to the University of Texas, Hook 'em Horns. And then at power forward, we all got the same power forward. I'm a Timmy guy, man. I'm that dude. When I used to play, I used to want to be just as fundamental as him just because of what he did. So Tim Duncan is my guy. And at the 5, there's no other way I was going. The Nigerian Nightmare, Hakeem, the Dream, Olajuwon. Hey man, that dude. Being young and seeing what he could do, not only offensively but defensively, he'll give Shaq a run for his money. In the aspect of he could pull Shaq away from the basket, shoot the jumper. On the opposite end, he probably couldn't really slow him down as much as he wanted to slow him down, but he was able to give him enough effort to where he made things hard for him. I think they crossed each other out because there's no way Shaq's footwork was better than his footwork. And we still see NBA players go to him today for his footwork.
To learn how to travel.
I thought you were going to go with the Admiral.
Nah, why would I go with the Admiral? I don't even like that dude.
Man, y'all was both in the Air Force.
He was in the Navy. Stop it.
That was Navy.
Oh. Hey, man, my bad, man. I was just trying to get you to like him.
Usually we will go to our last set, but time crunch, and I want to make sure everybody gets out here. I will end this segment on something positive as always. Life is short. Life comes at you fast. Enjoy it. I put it on a Facebook post. If it's writing something off your bucket list, if it's going to see your kids, if it's going to see your best friend, even if it's just taking some time out to watch some football, make sure you take care of yourself. Make sure you enjoy life. Make sure you stop and you smell the roses. Make sure you let the ones that you know that you truly love, you let them know that you love them. We only have so long till we're here, so make sure you make those moments and minutes count. This is it. I want to thank you all. We love y'all. We'll see y'all soon. We out.
Peace out.